it's going to be very interesting to see what direction David Price goes in this year. He's recently, well, I believe there's an announcement tomorrow, but it's been all over the papers today that he's signed for Sauerland Promotions, having had conversations with both Eddie Hearn at Matchroom and Frank Warren's team. He's been made an offer and accepted with Sauerland. We'll have to see tomorrow. I think it's 99.9% done, but there's an announcement tomorrow, so that will formalise things. But it's interesting to see what direction he'll go in. I think Price has stated in numerous interviews that he wants to fight in December. He wants to stay very busy. Well, we're certainly running out of time if he wants to fight in December, so we need something pretty swiftly announced if that is to be the case. He's also stated that he wants to have a tune-up fight or two before moving on to serious opposition. Excuse me. I think one of the interesting things is that in amongst the whole Tony Thompson debacle, if you like, Price remains British and Commonwealth champion. And he hasn't actually defended those belts for quite a considerable amount of time. So the question is, who does he fight next? Now, it's all over Twitter at the minute that Derek Chisora's opponent, Matteo Modugno, has pulled out of their fight for November the 30th. That leaves a gaping hole for someone to step in. Now, I don't think that will be Price, because I think Derek Chisora is too much of an opponent straight away. I think Price will want someone beatable, more easily beatable, so we say, than Chisora. So I don't think that will happen. But one thing that is worth noting is that he has mandatory obligations both on the Commonwealth side with Lucas Brown from Australia and on the British side with Derek Chisora, both of whom have expressed an interest in fighting him. Now, with Chisora, I wonder if that's a sensible fight for Chisora. Chisora is working himself into a position where he's European title holder. He's got a winnable fight against Kubrat Pulev to put himself in a mandatory spot against the Klitschko's. Is it not more sensible for Chisora to go down that route, fight a nobody on November the 30th, take a 50-50 fight against Pulev, and if he can beat him, get himself in a mandatory spot? That seems to be the more sensible route than fighting such a big puncher as Price, who can end a fight at any moment. So that's a question, even though Chisora is the mandatory for the British title, would he actually want to drop to British title level? Would he want to take a gamble? If he gets beaten by Price, Chisora's, career's in huge trouble, whereas, there's quite a clear route for him if he fights against Pulev early next year and then gets in a mandatory spot. So you got a Chisora fight. As I say, there's a vacancy on November the 30th. You've also got Lucas Brown. The question is, does Price want to go in against Lucas Brown? Lucas Brown, to me, looks quite beatable. He didn't look overly skilled, overly technical. He had weaknesses in his game. But Lucas Brown is known as a very, very heavy puncher. He's a big bloke. After Price has been stopped in his last two fights, does he want to go straight in against someone who's known as a knockout artist? I don't know. But either way, these are going to be questions that have to be answered, because if both his opponents in Brown and Chisora genuinely want the fights, then they're going to be able to get into mandatory bouts, in 2014. So it's something that Price has to consider. Now, in terms of a tune-up fight, who is there to be beating? Well, for me, the most obvious option, and I think there's a few, but I think the most obvious option has to be Michael Sprott. Sprott's coming off the back of a decent prize fighter win. He's back in the public eye because of that, and he wants a big fight. He wants a decent payday. Sprott did alright in prize fighter. He's clearly not the biggest puncher. He's clearly beatable. He's been stopped a few times over the last years, and I think Price would probably be able to beat him in 2 or 3 rounds. I think Sprott would take the fight. He's, obviously in a level of shape at least, because he's just come through the prize fighter thing. It'd be a decent payday for Sprott, and obviously there's a chance. David Price has shown himself if he can be a bit chinny. If Sprott, he's always got a puncher's chance. If he gets lucky, it puts Sprott right back in the mix for some mega money. So, is that a good fight for them? Square off in December. And then Price goes in against Chisora or Lucas Brown 2014. If he beats Sprott, then he goes in and beats Chisora, goes in and beats Brown. That puts him right back in the mix. Is that the route they want to go down? I don't know. There's a few other fighters. I know Ian Lewison is looking for a fight at the minute. He got pulled out against by John McDermott due to injury, so he's actually looking for a fight. I know Audley Harrison, dare I say it, is on the lookout for a fight at the minute. I don't think anyone wants to see Price v Audley too, but it's a tune-up. I mean, there's always the way Price could fight someone, from Eastern Europe no one's ever heard of. But I think, given his name, it'd be nice if we could get him in against an Ian Lewison or, Michael Sprott, at least someone the public's a bit more familiar with. So, what Price is going to do next is very interesting. He signed for Team Sauerland. They've got a lot of good heavyweights on the books. They've got Helenius, Povetkin, Kubrat Pulev. Obviously, they've got Marco Huck as well, the big cruiserweight champion. So, there's a lot of names on their books, potential for him to square off against some of those guys. Maybe Edmund Gerber would be a good fight. Last time I checked, he was, I think, a Sauerland fighter. He's a beatable opponent with a decent winning record. I know he's been beaten by Sprott and by Chisora, but he's a decent yardstick. Price shouldn't be caused too many problems by him. There's a few options for Price, but I think the key for him is activity. Drop down a level, have one or two easy fights. I think Price beats Lucas Brown. I'll probably avoid Chisora, to be honest. I think the new Chisora is a bit more dangerous than the Chisora against Tyson Fury, certainly. So I think the road I'd like to see him go down, maybe fight Michael Sprott, maybe fight Edmund Gerber. Summer next year, take on Lucas Brown. I think that's a winnable fight for him. Then try and fight one of the Sauerland fighters, Helenius, Pulev. Try and put himself right back in the mix that way, really. There's a lot of fights out there for him, and the fact that there's been Sauerlands that come in for him proves that he is still recognised as having a chance of making some waves in the heavyweight division. So that's my thoughts. As I say, I could see Price versus Sprott. Obviously, with Chisora's opponent pulling out, there's a reasonable chance it could be Chisora v Sprott, which would put a spanner in the works there. But we'll see how it goes down. Please leave your comments below. What do you think about Price with Sauerland? How do you think the most sensible path of advancing his career is? And what do you think the most likely path is? I mean, do you agree with me? I think out of the two mandatories, I think Lucas Brown is less of a risk. I think he's a bit less skilled than Chisora. And, I think with Sprott being a beatable opponent who's just one prize fighter, he's a decent guy to jump in with, really. But that's my thoughts. Leave your thoughts below. I'm going to do a few more videos over the next few days. I'm going to do a bit of super middleweight analysis later today. So please keep checking back. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching.